Wow, quick weight loss centers.
You're out! You better get your eyes checked. You're at it again.
John Goodman tells the real story behind a hard-drinking hero.
I don't think he ever really grew up. He just loved life.
Babe's foul play. Hello, everyone. I'm Maureen O'Boyle. Welcome to A Current Affair for this Tuesday, April 14th. Sandy Cole was driving through the mountains of Colorado with her son when she says she heard him plotting a vicious murder. A short time later, the would-be victim was dead. Instead of coming to her child's defense, Sandy has made the agonizing decision to testify against him. And her testimony could put her own flesh and blood on death row. Mike Watkins has the tragic story of the mother who has discovered home is where the hurt is.
There are certain things you can count on in this world, like a sunset, a spring thaw in the mountains of Colorado, and a mother's unconditional love for her son.
As a parent, it matters what they do, but it doesn't change the love you have for them. Okay? There's always going to be a bond there, but it's not going to change what happened. But it's also not going to make you stop loving them. I'll never stop loving.
But the son Sandy Cole raised and nurtured for 21 years now stands charged with murder, an act so vicious that even this Colorado mother cannot turn the other cheek.
I hope no mother has to go through what I have to go through. Because a mother's love can withstand a whole lot, but I'm not sure most mothers could handle it.
His name is Joseph Aguayo. As his mother, Sandy gave him life. But as a witness at his murder trial, Sandy will offer the testimony that could sentence him to death.
It's going to kill me. But I can't lie. And because I can't lie, I could probably be the one that killed my own son.
It's got to be one of the hardest things in the world to do, is to put your own blood like that, out like that. To know that you have to stop this person, even though he is your own flesh and blood. It's got to be.
Although Angie Eaton can understand Sandy's anguish as a parent, her sympathy lies with Rex Miller, the victim. Rex was Angie's boyfriend.
Everybody loved him. There wasn't anybody, I think, that knew him that did not love him in some way. He was just a part of everything.
It was just him. Nothing was more important than his friends and his parents.
Rex lived his entire life around Central City, Colorado, and he was well known. Locals tell stories about the son who'd faithfully stop and have coffee every morning with his parents, about the volunteer firefighter you always wanted to back you in a dangerous blaze, about the Good Samaritan who stopped to help a car full of people when they ran out of gas on a desolate mountain road last summer.
He died doing what he loved doing most, and that was giving of himself.
Rex Miller thought he was helping a stranded motorist when he pulled over to help Joseph Aguayo. Aguayo and another man, Marvin Dennis Jr., ran out of gas and set out to find help. 3 other people, including Aguayo's mother, waited in the car. The 2 men flagged down Rex Miller, who was returning home from dinner with his girlfriend Angie. Rex offered to take her home and return to help. It would be his final selfless act.
That was the last thing that he did for me. It saved my life.
According to the indictment, while Rex was gone, Aguayo and Dennis planned to rob Rex Miller when he returned. A plot Aguayo told his mother about while she waited in the car.
I thought he was joking around. I thought, he's always talking big. I didn't even realize that something like that was going to happen.
I looked in the sky and said, please, God, don't let this happen.
This man, who asked to be identified only as Gerald, is reported to be the only eyewitness. He claims he saw Marvin Dennis Jr. shoot Rex Miller, an account supported by court documents.
And she's the one that pulled the trigger.
And my son started crying. He said, "Mom, what do we do?" I said, "Nothing, because Marvin could kill us just as easy as we just did that man."
Rex Miller, the Good Samaritan, was left for dead, his face beaten beyond recognition, an attempt to hide the victim's identity. Both Marvin Dennis Jr. and Joseph Aguayo have been charged with murder for this savage attack. Both men refused to talk to A Current Affair, but when the trial starts, Sandy Cole will be the prosecution's star witness, apparently to show premeditation and her son's alleged involvement. And when she saw the crime scene photos, even she couldn't believe how brutal the slaying actually was.
I had to see where the gunshot wounds were. I had to see what was done to this man. And it was enough to make me want to vomit. But I needed to know in my own heart what had really happened. Because until that point, I didn't even want to believe that something like that had even happened. All right? I didn't want to believe my son was involved.
And even the victim's friends find Sandy Cole in a horrible position.
To think of myself doing that with one of my kids, that would be incredible.
But what's right is right.
That's right. But Rex never even had the chance to say goodbye to his mother. He just didn't show up at 7 a.m. the next morning for coffee.
Rex Miller's mother lost her son, and now Sandy Cole struggles with her terrible responsibility, not just losing her son, but possibly helping to convict him for murder.
If I had a power to do anything, I would change it. I would change the entire day that day. But I don't have the kind of power people think I have. The only power I have is convicting my own son. And I would prefer not to have it.
Joseph Aguayo is currently in jail in Denver. His trial is expected to begin in a few months. Still ahead, John Goodman takes a swing at life as a legend.
Putting the uniform on for the first time was like being a kid and going out and playing.
He's had his own tough times. Now this Hollywood hero shows the dark side of a slugger. That's later. And next, a sheriff is busted for being too cozy with the local hookers. But the townsfolk say that was part of the job.
It had gone on for so long, and just why all of a sudden did this have to happen?
Tomorrow on A Current Affair, inside the dreary new digs where they're turning down the sheets for billionaire hotel queen Leona Helmsley.
Good afternoon. Imagine being stranded outside a skyscraper window 18 floors up. Two men say they owe their lives to an heroic fireman. We'll take you to the scene of an incredible rescue in Center City. Plus,
Money! We want money!
frustrated workers storm a Philadelphia bank. Find out why they're so angry. And one last chance for hotel queen Leona Helmsley to stay out of jail. We'll bring you the dramatic ruling of her last appeal. I'm Bruce Hamilton. Join me for Newsbeat tonight at 6.
It all started with one Carvel Easter bunny cake. Next thing we knew, the bunny laid an egg, which led to another bunny, and even more eggs, and more bunnies. So why not come over to Carvel for a nice Easter bunny or Easter egg ice cream cake right now? And if it's not too much to ask, please hurry. Now, buy a bunny cake and get 2 Easter egg cakes for just $4 more.
It took lawyers over 100 years to get back to doing what Abraham Lincoln did long ago. Abraham Lincoln advertised for the same reason Hyatt Legal Services does today. To bring the law closer to people, you can talk with one of our lawyers for just $20. And for cases like divorce, wills, bankruptcy, and accidents, we tell you our fee up front. Hyatt Legal Services, a good idea that just keeps getting better. I'm Joel Hyatt, and you have my word on it.
All God's creatures get constipated. It's only natural. And most of them solve it naturally, without chemicals. Now humans can too, with per diem. A 100% natural laxative that works just as fast as all the chemical ones. It's as natural as, well, being constipated.
At the Lake Edna Karate Club's last get-together, Ralph Fisher, the instructor, served new Oriental wings from KFC. Tender wings glazed in a sweet teriyaki sauce. Charlie Lewis had so many he had to loosen his black belt. In fact, everyone had seconds. Except Ralph. New KFC Oriental wing pieces, 6 for $1.99, 20 for $5.99, for a limited time in Lake Edna or your neck of the woods.
When the sheriff of Wallace, Idaho, was arrested recently for racketeering, the townsfolk were outraged. But they weren't mad at the local lawman. They were upset with the federal agents who brought him down. Now, Frank Grimes takes us to the Wild West town where there's about to be a showdown for the sheriff.
This is the end of what we call the Old West.
It'd gone on for so long, and just why all of a sudden did this have to happen?
If what I think is going to happen happens, it'll round out a full day.
Seems a lot is suddenly happening in Wallace, Idaho. This historic mining town, nestled deep in Idaho's rugged panhandle, is mostly known for its silver mines. But for more than a century, hard rock miners have known they could come down off the mountain to Main Street for a cold beer, a hot game of poker, and maybe a warm body in an upstairs brothel.
You sleepy, tall man?
Nope.
Tired?
No.
Worried? Or maybe just plain bored?
Not a chance, baby.
Growing up here, you know, it was always the prostitutes were in Wallace. That was the way it was.
We grew up with them, and you didn't even give them a second thought.
But when thinking of the Wild West, it's hard to imagine a place wilder than Wallace.
More whiskey.
A town where the madams are generous, not only with their girls' favors, but also with their cash. They outfitted the high school band and even the local Little League.
The ladies that ran the places, the brothels and stuff like that, they shopped in the local grocery stores. They walked down the street just like any normal person would. They treated the people of the Valley good.
But all this illegal activity came to a screeching halt last June when feds rolled into town and broke up the poker and prostitution and put an end to the town's tawdry tradition. It was a Sunday morning when 150 FBI agents broke down the barroom door. Sam Eisman is a local attorney in Shoshone County.
On that fateful day in June of '91, when the 150 FBI agents swooped in, seized all their money, put liens on their bars, and said, hey, you people are out of business.
But locals can't figure out why it took the feds more than a century to see that all might not be on the up and up here in Wallace. Residents say their town gave a green light to the red light district long ago. In fact, according to some, the most important job of Sheriff Frank Serkovich was to shield all this shady behavior.
He allegedly did not enforce the laws relating to prostitution. He aided and abetted a couple other individuals who were machine vendors in that area.
The feds say when old Sheriff Serkovich wasn't busy upholding the law, he was busy taking bribes from the local madams and bar owners. Authorities say they even helped buy a squad car for the sheriff's office. In exchange, the sheriff allegedly protected the poker and prostitution. Whenever the sheriff heard outside law enforcement was coming in, he reportedly tipped them off with a phone call. But these days, the sheriff is making only one call a day, to his attorney.
As I read the indictment, that he is a racketeer and guilty of violating the Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act.
Maybe I ought to go apologize.
After 150 years, this rough and ready town is finally tamed. The poker games have folded, the gambling machines are unplugged, and the red lights in the empty brothels are dim. Meanwhile, the sheriff has a date in court facing 20 years for racketeering.
There have been many, many sheriffs before him. Why, you know, why not way back then? Why didn't this happen 20 years ago or, you know, 30 years ago?
You're watching history happen. It says this is the This is the end of what we call the Old West, or the old mining camps. It says we've had a stronghold here for long time. And it says, and civilization's finally caught up to us, you know.
And the tiny town of Wallace is left in financial ruin. Silver used to be $44 an ounce. Now it's down to a measly $4. 5 silver mines have already folded. The many locals looking for a silver lining in this dark cloud still long for the good old days when Sheriff Frank walked the beat.
I believe if Sheriff Sinkovich runs again, he could be reelected.
He's that popular?
He's a very popular fellow.
The sheriff has pled not guilty to all charges. His trial begins next week. Up next on A Current Affair, a Hollywood hotshot becomes a baseball big shot.
4 women at one time? What are you? Some kind of animal?
He hammered homers by day and hit the bars by night. Now the truth about the Babe.
He lived life to the fullest.
Thursday on A Current Affair, it's a city of losers in the fight against fat. We'll take you to the diet capital of the world.
Bonnie Sheridan was a 70s rock star till she burned out. Now she's back rocking on Roseanne. Her inside stories on Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7. Patrick Swayze says his latest role has changed his life.
I don't even know how. I feel very weird doing all this press and talking about like I know how I've changed from this role.
So what does the future hold for the actor?
That's what I'm facing right now, is life after City of Joy.
A talk with Patrick Swayze and a look at his compelling new movie, City of Joy, tonight on Evening Magazine.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
Obsolescence.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
It's the fact of life that says nothing lives forever.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
At Cub Cadet, we put a lot of time into our products.
Honey, I got a new tractor.
So you'll get a lot of time out of them.
Honey.
You can accept obsolescence.
Honey.
Or you can fight it.
You got a
Cub Cadet. Working overtime.
I'd like to talk to you about an invisible problem. The invisible bacteria that cause denture odor. Fortunately, antibacterial Effident kills those odor-causing bacteria for clean, fresh dentures.
Antibacterial Effident.
Juice! Quiet, please.
Oh no, not here.
When allergies come on this strong, Benadryl comes on stronger.
Just compare. Check our ads, shop our stores, prove it to yourself. You'll see nobody does more to save you more.
ShopRite has so many things on sale.
With more weekly sale items.
ShopRite all natural fresh turkey, 69 cents a pound. Salmon fillet, $4.99 a pound. Italian Village ravioli, half price, 79 cents. Save $5 on opening night tickets for the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus.
We save you money.
More money.
ShopRite does it right.
In business today, just getting in the door requires an edge. Closing a deal takes even more. So when your clients say, "Show me what you've got," show them in a penthouse suite. With the Phillies, Eagles, and over 100 events a year, it's where the big boys play. For Philadelphia Rainmakers, it's the place in the clouds, including valet parking, sophistication, and gourmet food. Done deal? Case closed. Reserve your view from the top by calling 215-334-1350.
Back in the 1920s, baseball hero Babe Ruth seemed larger than life, and nobody wanted to know his dark side. But now the glare of celebrity is reflecting back. And in a new movie, John Goodman shows the Sultan of SWAT as a hard-drinking ladies' man. The star is no stranger to controversy himself, and now he tells Gene Wolfe about Babe's foul play.
When we played ball when we were kids, we'd always play like we were a big leaguer. You know, I'm Julian Javier, I'm Stan Musial, I'm Babe Ruth, and this time I get to be Babe Ruth. So that's a lot what it was like. It was like living out a kid fantasy.
This is
the home of the Babe, Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth built along with a home run legend. Now a new movie reveals the triumphant spirit as well as the dark side of the slugger who became an American hero.
I've had it with your fun. I know where you were last night, George.
Hey, listen, Helen, lower your voice as people say.
Everybody knows. It's all over the place, George. Swimming in the hotel fountain, the brothel in the French Quarter, 4 women at one time. What are you? Some kind of animal?
I'm not here to judge him. You know, if that's bad, it's bad, but that's the way he did. That's what he did. He lived life to the fullest, and when he was done at the ballpark, he went out and lived it at night because he loved people, he loved being out, he loved music. He just loved life.
Babe's gonna sock you a home run in the game tomorrow. Would that make you feel better, Johnny? 2? I don't know. Yeah, I'll hit 2 for you. But if I do, you gotta get better. That's the deal.
I know that John Goodman giggle. Okay, you got the uniform on for the first time. You got the makeup. You look in the mirror.
It was great. Just putting the uniform on for the first time was like being a kid and going out and playing.
The whole part, though, wasn't playing. I mean, you took this very seriously. You had to work to get this guy down.
Yeah, this one, there was a little more physical stuff attached to it because he was a left-handed. I am right-handed. So I was born with the wrong skills. So I'd get up every day before I'd go into work and work out with these guys I'd hit for an hour left-handed and throw for an hour left-handed. And about 4.5 months, it got loose enough to where it looked like it could fool people.
Beyond the challenge of batting like Ruth, John had to capture the dark emotions that sometimes pushed this American hero to the wild side.
You're out! You better get your eyes checked. You're at it again.
One of the first to explore the man behind the legend was the author of the best-selling biography, Babe, Robert Creamer.
I don't think he was an alcoholic, but he drank a great deal. He liked women. He had tremendous appetite for women. He liked playing baseball. He liked to hit home runs. He liked to do everything big. He said, I swing big, I do everything big.
He also was kind of a hard liver. You did not shy away.
He had a real hard liver. Drive nails with that sucker.
What's that big ape out on the rampage last night? Standing up there like a drunken moocher.
In his home run heyday, the Babe had America's press in his pocket. The sports writers who traveled with him celebrated his victories and ignored his appetite for booze and broads. Even John Goodman admits that if Ruth were alive today in the current atmosphere of celebrity scrutiny, even he couldn't get away with it.
They'd rat him out in a New York second.
This insatiable appetite for gossip today that the press has didn't exist then. If Babe were playing today, I think he'd be in the papers every day.
Here's to you, fellas. Let's have a hell of a season.
I don't think he ever really grew up. He's still a big kid. It's true of a lot of athletes, but not all of them. And it's true of me.
But John found out the hard way that there's more than child's play to being a celebrity when he became a media target for alleged excessive drinking. You've gone and kicked Roseanne off the tabloid pages. I mean, how could you take her spot?
Yeah, go figure. I don't know.
Is that tough on you? I mean,
Yeah, it is hard on me. It's hard on me, and it's hard on my wife. It's hard on my mother. But there's not a damn thing I can do about it, and I hope the country gets tired of this stuff pretty soon. I sure as hell am.
He's a god.
I think it's amazing that anyone is a hero today, because if that same relentless spotlight was on Babe Ruth, would he be that much of a hero? I don't know. I don't know. He was, without any question, the best baseball player of all time. No doubt about that at all.
Well, John Goodman's back to wisecracking on the set of Roseanne while he waits for The Babe to open this Friday across the country. Still ahead, exclusive footage of Bambi, America's most fascinating fugitive, and her boyfriend. Later this week on A Current Affair, in historic Micanopy, Florida, the townsfolk are in an uproar over this racy restaurant because they don't want a hot time in the old town.
My mother would have a fit if she thought I wasn't using a detergent and a fabric softener for my dirtiest clothes. But why mess with these things when Ultra Bold does the job of both? It's the only concentrated detergent and softener in one. See? super clean and super soft. With Ultra Bold, I don't need a detergent and a softener. I just keep them around in case Mom drops by, which is always right about...
Ultra Bold. Clean, soft, and simple.
Mom, what a surprise.
I wear a partial, this lateral incisor.
I lost this
If you wear partials, you know what you've lost. But here's what you've really been missing. New Polidin for partials, with the power to clean the pearly part and the metal part in just 5 minutes. So get new Polidin for partials.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Sinus Allergy takes on the toughest allergies.
Yard work makes my allergies go crazy. But Alka-Seltzer Plus works great. Even relieves my watery eyes. Good thing. It's a big lawn.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough allergy symptoms.
Last month in the Delaware Valley, over 12,000 people called the same number to find the doctor they needed.
Hello, this is Prologue. May I help you find a physician or dentist?
Yes, I need to see a dentist.
Let's begin by finding out where you live. We'll try to get someone who's close to you.
I just moved to Center City, Philadelphia.
Well, the computer shows that there are 3 doctors right near you.
Without insurance.
The last one accepts all major medical insurance and some group plans after the first visit.
Can she see me tomorrow? In the evening?
Well, let me make an appointment for you right now.
Call Prologue to find a physician or dentist who's right for you.
You can have your cake and eat it too, because Sheehy Ford gives you 7.9% financing, plus you keep the rebate. That's 7.9% for a full 48 months, and you keep the rebate. Our goal is to sell every car, every truck, for at least $300 less than any other dealer for the same exact model. All discounts, plus 7.9 APR financing, plus you keep the factory rebate. You can have your cake and eat it too, but only at Sheehy Ford here in Northeast Philadelphia, where unless this emblem is on your car or truck, you probably paid too much.
The Ross Spring Clearance is on now. Hurry, prices have been reduced on hundreds of items throughout the store. The only thing more beautiful than the clothes are the savings.
The Sports Tonight with Yuki Washington. Weeknights at 11.
She was America's most wanted, but now Bambi might be coming home. And we meet the man who knows why.
He's the man who fell in love with former Playboy bunny and convicted killer, Bambi Bambenek.
She was gorgeous, she was fun, she was exciting.
Now, just out of jail, he speaks exclusively to A Current Affair about the daring prison escape.
I took her out of the country.
And their 94 days on the run from the law.
Use your imagination.
Bambi's boy.
That story and much more Wednesday on A Current Affair. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Good night.
No matter what you drive, Pep Boys offers worry-free, guaranteed service. For worry-free, guaranteed service, 7 days a week, it's Pep Boys. Pick up your 48-page April catalog at the store today.
Oh, gee.
All gone?
Uh-oh. Oh, not again.
Time for CVS, where every week new things go on sale. Like Alberto BO5 shampoo and conditioner in the 15-ounce sizes, just 88 cents each for richer, more luxurious hair. And Dymatap, the 4-ounce elixir, DM, and 12-hour maximum strength extend tabs are just $3.17 each for cold and allergy relief. Saving is easy at today's neighborhood drugstore.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call Public Storage. You store it, you lock it, you keep the key.
Bonnie Sheridan rocking TV's Roseanne on Entertainment Tonight.